Hey everyone, today we're switching it up and giving you a Mountain Climbers Youth Edition episode. So, this outbreak of COVID 19 has affected so many people, but who my heart really goes out to is the 2020 graduating seniors. They've worked so hard for so long to reach these milestones, and they were told that the last half of their senior year they would make countless memories, and now these unusual times and circumstances have taken those memories away. And to any senior who may be watching this episode, I want you to know that it's okay to grieve and to feel pain over what you've lost. But you may be wondering, how do I get past it and look to what's next? Well, here to talk about that today is Brooklyn Buckle and Keri Callihan, two 2020 seniors who have missed out on special moments just like every other senior in this country. I have watched Keri and Brooklyn grow up, and I cannot believe that they are graduating. That boggles my mind. But I'm so proud of the young women that they've become. They truly have a heart to serve the Lord, and because of that, I know that the wisdom they will share with you today will be so instrumental in helping others heal. So they're ready to connect with us now via Zoom. And here's what I think my favorite part is going to be of this interview. Yes, you'll hear them share how they hurt and were heartbroken over these losses, but here's what's going to shine through even more. That no matter what your mountain takes from you, if your strength comes from God, then mountaintop victories are just ahead. Hey, Brooklyn and Keri, welcome to Mountain Climbers Youth Edition. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, you're welcome. I am very excited about what we're going to discuss because it's so relevant to what we're facing today. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you all being on, because I know what you're going to discuss probably is difficult to process and talk about, but I know that you're going to help so many seniors that are in the same position as you guys are. So we're going to jump right in and get started. So first, can you tell me what high school you guys graduated from?
I'm graduating from Valley.
Okay.
I'm graduating from Portsmouth High School.
All right. And so what were your extracurricular activities?
So I played basketball and volleyball, and I was supposed to play softball, but season got cut a little short.
Darn COVID. And Keri?
I played track, and I've been doing a poetry club at my school. We call it Smash Poetry.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I love words, so that's great. So a lot of seniors, when they start their senior year, they have goals and visions for how their last year of their high school career is going to go. Did you guys set any goals or have any visions or dreams of what you wanted to accomplish?
So this was like the first year I didn't have every class with like all of my friends. So at the beginning of the year, I was super bummed, but then I was like, I'm going to just use this year to make memories with people that I wouldn't normally. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of what I try to do throughout the whole year, just talk to people that I normally didn't, and spend my very last year with people that I wouldn't normally talk to.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. I love that. And Keri?
Well, my goal actually was to read the Bible through completely, because I've never actually done that. I've read a lot through it, but I haven't sat down and been like, okay, I'm reading this front to back. I'm going to get it done. And that's kind of the goal that I've had set, and I'm almost done, I think. Like, we're almost through the entire Old Testament, and I started that at the beginning of the year, so I'm hoping to get it done,
that's a huge
as time goes on.
Well, congratulations. That's great. I mean, not many adults can say they've read the Bible in a year, so good for you. Okay. So do you guys remember when you started hearing rumors that there's this virus in China and China's shutting down and people in the U.S. are starting to get this virus? I mean, did you even give it a second thought when you first heard about it?
I didn't. I thought it's never going to reach us.
Yeah.
You know, like, this only happens in big cities. It's not going to come down here and affect us. But
Those were my same thoughts too. Yeah. Keri, what did you think?
Honestly, no. I didn't think it was going to affect us like Brooklyn said.
Yeah. Well, what was hilarious is when it first started, getting out there and that, it was a big deal with China, I flew on the same airline that first person who came from China who had it. And I'm like, okay, well, I hope I'm not on the same plane that they were sitting on. So anyway, it was kind of comical, but still, I never thought, it's in China. It's not a big deal. But at some point we realized this is pretty serious. And, did it ever cross your mind that this might affect the rest of your school year?
No. I thought for sure this was going to be one of those things where everyone made it out to be a lot bigger than it actually was. And then we would just, continue our lives as it was before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know I thought the same thing too. And then, eventually we found out that wasn't going to be the case. But do you remember when your schools officially closed?
my last day was March 13th. That was the last day that we went. And we were supposed to go back that Monday, the 15th, but we ended up canceling on that Friday.
Gotcha. All right. What about you, Keri?
I think the same day, if I remember correctly. If not, it was a few days after.
Okay. Well, let me get your thoughts about that day. I mean, did you think, oh, this is kind of nice, like a week or two break before the craziness of the end of the senior year? Like, it'll be nice to have this break and then we can go back and finish it and celebrate. Is that what crossed your mind?
Yeah, kind of. At first I was like, okay, a week off school, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
But then they told us while I was at softball practice, so we were outside, and he said, like, we can't even come together and practice. You guys can't even be on school parking lot at all. And I was like, oh, like that's whenever it kind of hit, like this is actually happening, like this is serious. It's not just a break for the flu or something, like something bad is happening.
Yeah, that's so tough. What about you, Keri?
I just, when it first happened, I was like, okay, everyone's overreacting. Like, this is not quite as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be. I was a little upset, if I'm being honest. I was upset because I was like, this is my senior year. Like, I get that, to me, it was the same thing as the flu. It wasn't very serious at all. So when they decided to, basically say you're not coming back for like 2 more weeks, I was like, I mean, okay, but why? Like, we could just go to school and be fine. It's not that big a deal. Just, keep your distance. Don't sneeze on each other.
Common sense, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that was everyone's, thought at first that, if we just use common sense, we social distance, we wash our hands, we're not going to be affected, really badly from this. But, Governor DeWine did finally make that official announcement that school would not go back into session for the remainder of the school year. And I can't imagine how heartbreaking that must have been. I mean, I told you guys when I was writing these questions for you, I was choking up for you guys. I can't imagine what you guys felt like when you heard that. You started thinking, I'm not going to get a senior prom. I'm not going to get to have senior week. I'm not going to get, I'm crying right now. Yeah, graduation. I mean, what were you feeling?
When it finally got to that point where he said we weren't going back, it's kind of bad to say this, but it was like expected. I feel like by then I don't want to say prepared because there's no way I could have ever prepared myself for this, but it was kind of like what I was waiting to hear. And I was upset. I was very upset, but it was kind of like, you've seen it happen in places all around us, so it was expected. Yeah. But it was definitely heartbreaking.
Kind of like, just let's rip the Band-Aid off, tell us the inevitable, it's coming, just let's get it over with kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Keri?
Honestly, by that point, I realized just how serious this was, and I was more okay with it happening by that point.
Yeah.
really kind of what helped me out, I guess, with figuring out the moment, that we weren't going back, was that I had been surrounding myself in the Word. Like I said, I've been trying to read the Bible all the way through, and I have just been really trying to focus on the Word of God. And that's what brought me through it. I was up one night super late, just, crying, trying to understand why God was having this happen to us.
Yeah.
And then he reminded me, Keri, it's not about your circumstances. It's about who you look to in your circumstances. Yeah. And when I looked to him, he kind of helped me to realize that there were things about myself that I could improve during this time that I couldn't do if I was worried about my senior year, or if I was worried about my friends and, going to school. This is a time where I could, grow close to him without having to worry about all the distractions of everyday life, because we're all home right now.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time to talk to God and get to know him. And that's what happened super late one night, is I really got to talk to him and surrender everything that I had been holding back, because he gave me that time to do it.
That's great. That's awesome. It was almost like he was preparing you for this time, because he knew what was coming. And so I want to know too, how did your family help you cope with these losses you were experiencing?
I'm sure you guys have seen pictures, but we did like the senior on the door thing, and that was so cool. Mom wanted to do that all by herself, and she did, and it was a great surprise. So I loved it, and just everything, they're just really supportive throughout the whole thing, because they know like it's so hard. So just really being there, and the small things like adopting a senior, the people that have adopted me, like the things that I've gotten in the mail, the little things mean so much. Like it makes a huge difference during this time.
Yeah, I get that, because it helps make up for the memories you've lost, because I mean, these memories are what makes life precious and worth living. And so that just kind of makes it feel a little bit better. So that's really cool. I didn't even know they didn't adopt a senior. I love that idea. That's great.
Yeah, one of my 8th grade teachers adopted me, and then another lady from church did, and we get like little baskets of just goodies and stuff. So it's so cool. It really is.
Very cool. What about you, Keri?
My family has just, done every little thing that they could to really support me during this time. And everything from having like, just family movie nights to family game night, just little things to make up for the time that I don't get to spend with my friends.
Yeah.
And they've honestly been my best friends since the beginning.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, this next question, Keri, you basically already talked about it. So I'm going to let Brooklyn take the lead on this question. You talked about your family helping you, but more importantly, how did your Heavenly Father help you cope during this time?
So kind of like what Keri said, I was up really late one night, and it was actually the night after every senior from my school, we took a picture of where we're going to college at and like our future plans.
Yeah.
And my English teacher put it together in a big video, and it was on Facebook. And I was watching it that night, and I was sitting down in my bed, and I was just looking at everyone, like, every senior in my class, seeing how we're all going our separate ways. And it was sad. Like, I was so upset, and I was crying, just upset about the whole thing. And then God really put me in check, and he was like, you might be missing out on all of these things, but there are so many people that their lives are being saved right now. If it means I have to miss my senior prom, my graduation, senior week, and spending time with my friends at school, and just for one life to be saved, then it really is worth it. And that was just really where I had to focus, and that's where I was checked.
That's great. I mean, that really does put it in perspective for you to think about it that way. And I mean, you guys have every right to grieve and to feel pain and just to wonder why this is happening to you. So, and let me tell you, God understands that. He knows we're human. We live in a broken world. So never feel guilty for feeling that pain and just grieving over what you've lost. And, and I think it's good too that you've done it, and then you've shifted your focus. And that just shows me what mature young ladies you turn. But I was actually really impressed with the creative ways your schools made the best of the special events you were missing out on, like prom in a box, the drive-by graduation. Tell me a little bit about those improvises.
So we did like the big parade thing for kind of like a graduation.
Yeah.
And all the seniors and their parents met at Valley Middle School.
Okay.
And we lined up, and there's fire trucks and everything. And we drove to the high school.
Yeah.
And I remember I was standing up in the Jeep, and we were going on the highway. And I got to the point right past the trees where I could see the parking lot of the high school.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was flooded with cars, and you just see lights and everything. And at that point, like, that was where I realized it all. Like, it clicked. Like, that's our community rallying around us. Like, everyone knows what we're going through right now, and they just want to lift us up and help support us. And it was so amazing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I know, like, when I saw the Facebook posts of those graduation drive-bys, I choked up. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I love that every single school in the county chose that night, it looked like, to do it. And it was like, oh, it's not just like one school. It's like Scioto County coming together as a whole and supporting our seniors and, telling them, we see you, we know what you're going through, and, giving you those memories that, you've missed out on. So I thought that was amazing. I loved it. It's just kind of beauty from ashes kind of thing. And God will always, give you a wink and say, I see you. So I love that. So, like I told you, you have every right to be angry, to be hurt, and to question why you've had to miss the things that you have. But what advice would you give other seniors to work through the pain and heartache that they're feeling of these losses and look to what's next and celebrate what's next?
I'd say really just spend this time with your family and your friends. You can't change the situation that we're in, so you might as well make the most of it. And that's just really how I've been thinking. Although we're missing these things, we're getting the opportunity to do things with our family that we wouldn't be able to do if we were still in school. So that's really just make the most of your time, no matter how it may be.
Yeah. And what about you, Keri?
Honestly, just, use as much time as you can to really get close to God through this time, because everything down here, yes, it's important, but it's not quite as important as our life up in heaven. And that's what we're doing right now. We're living here as though we're living up in heaven already. We're supposed to, just draw closer to Him so that when the time finally does come, that He takes us home, we're ready for it. And I guess my greatest advice I could give anyone is just to really check your heart. Make sure your heart's right with God before you just go and do mindless things, because you could be spending this time, like Brooklyn said, with your family. That family is super important to God, and you really should draw close to them during these times.
Yeah, I love that. That is such great advice, and really, that's what will help you look to what's next. So if you focus on the things that are important in life, because God does care about, the good things in life. And I mean, He gives us gifts like every single day. He cares about our dreams and desires. If He didn't, He wouldn't put them in there. So, and speaking of what's next, what are your all's future plans?
I am going to Moorhead University, and I'm going to do early childhood special education.
I can totally see that. So you're going to follow in your sister's footsteps of Moorhead, right?
Yeah, we're actually supposed to live together.
Oh my goodness. Like in the dorm or apartment or?
In a dorm.
Oh, that is so amazing. I would have loved to do that with my sister. That is, oh my goodness. That's great. You're going to have
very excited.
Is it her senior year?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Well, congratulations on that. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Keri, what about you?
I'm going to go to Shawnee State to study English, literature and language arts for like 7th through 12th grade students.
Oh yeah, I totally can see that. Are you going to write the next great American novel?
No.
Come on, no, you have it in ya. Okay. Well, that's so exciting. I am so very proud of you guys. You just, like I said, turned into two exceptional women of God, and I know you guys are going to do some great things. God has awesome plans for you, and I just thank you for being on here and sharing about this really tough season in your life, because like I said, I can't imagine how heartbreaking it was, but it's going to help a lot of people heal through this. And so what I love the most about this interview is that you showed no matter what your mountain takes away, when your strength comes,